listen to and watch some of the details from this trial. Kelly Hyman is now joining me. She is a trial attorney to discuss what we learned on the first day. Let's start with the evidence and what the prosecution says will be presented throughout the trial. One that stood out to me was the DNA, Ibarra's DNA that was found in the victim's fingernails. What are your thoughts on the strength of the case and the evidence that will be continued to be presented?
It's a very strong case from the state's perspective. They laid out in their opening statement. So the opening statements when the state presents its case to the judge, because this is a bench trial, so there's no jury in this case, and lays out the fact that there's going to be 3 different types of evidence. There's going to be forensic evidence, digital evidence as well, and there's also going to be video evidence as well in this case. It's going to play a key role.
And did we see some of that video evidence? Was it the video of him allegedly dumping evidence in a dumpster?
Yes.
Okay.
There's some video evidence of him allegedly dumping some evidence into a dumpster.
Okay. So the defense attorney said that, you know, the evidence is all circumstantial. But you would think DNA, forensic evidence like that with Ibarra's DNA under her fingernail, his fingerprints on her phone, that would connect him to the murder, but you say it's going to get more technical.
Yes, of course, you're innocent until proven guilty, but the defense is basically that, yes, what happened is tragic, it's horrible, that she was murdered, but they can't link the defendant because of the way in which it's going to get very technical about the DNA evidence that was the way it was handled, and supposedly he used gloves, but defense is saying, okay, if he used gloves, then why did you get his DNA on the phone? There's a counter argument to that there was a hole in the glove. And because there was a hole in the glove, that his fingerprint was on her phone. And they got that. And then also through the DNA through her nails as well.
So for the prosecution, is it just going to be about connecting the dots and kind of painting this picture with the timeline?
Laying out its case. So when the state presented its case, its first witness was one of her roommates. And she talked about how they had phones and they tracked each other so they could monitor where each other was. And that's why she knew that she was in the woods. And so because of that, then her friends started looking for her. And then they talked about what they found, and they have found her ear pod there near the woods. And then one of the detectives came out and had the body cam. And that's when the family left the trial because it was so emotional to see him finding her in the state that she was in and trying to resuscitate her and bring her back to life. But sadly, she was already dead.
Yeah, I mean, the gasp you can hear in the video, right? And all of that is caught on his body cam where he's trying to give her CPR to no avail. You mentioned that the defendant waived his right to a jury trial. So it's going to be bench trial, which means that the judge will make the final ruling. Is that a risky move? Why do you think they did that?
It's a strategy decision. Now, under our Constitution, you are allowed a trial by your peers, by your jury. And so one reason why the defense could do this is because this case has gotten national attention. People are very emotionally involved in this. Here's this beautiful young girl, 22-year-old nursing student that was brutally attacked by a rock and killed. And so to take that away from the jurors and have the judge look solely at the evidence, look at the DNA and say that fact that the DNA doesn't substantiate the fact the defendant did the crime.
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, we'll leave it there. So good to see you this morning. Kelly Hyman, thanks. Victor?
Still to